Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, the silver and black claim to safety. I'm going to tell you who that is and what other move the Raiders are going to have to make. Also, could the silver and black be interested in Hunter Renfrow? We added Amari Cooper. We're just going to try to bring the whole band back together. But even though this is the Raiders Report, I've been doing this show for a long time, and one of the biggest NFL trades literally just went down. The Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys have agreed to terms of a trade. The Cowboys are going to be sending Micah Parsons to the Packers, and the Packers are sending 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. I'm going to tell you this right now. This is just as big as the Khalil Mack trade many years ago. Mack was 27 years old, Parsons is 26, and he's coming off a year where he had 12 sacks. When you see the numbers that Micah's getting paid, I want you to remember this statement that I made a few months ago in regards to Maxx Crosby. I said it's so important for the Raiders to get the Maxx Crosby deal done before Myles Garrett, before TJ Watt, before Micah Parsons, because he is signing a 4-year, $188 million deal with $136 million guaranteed. If you're looking for a comparison, Max is somewhere around $35.5 million per year. Micah now is going to be up around $47 million. I think Parsons is a phenomenal football player, but I'll be transparent. I believe Maxx Crosby is a better football player than Micah Parsons. Micah might be better getting after the quarterback, but Max is a lot more better overall and well-rounded. But you know what? I think that this is kind of an interesting trade for both sides, and I'm going to tell you who I think ended up winning this deal, but I want you to look at this bad boy right now. And if you get, 5 seconds today, if you get a minute, I want you to go check in on my guy, Tom Downey, over at the Cowboys Report. He was having a mental breakdown. He's still live right now on YouTube. He's probably going to be live for a long time discussing this trade. But I got to know from the nation, because my wife's a Cowboys fan, and this is the biggest trade and biggest news that's going to happen today. Who won the trade? It's going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Type GB if you think it's the Packers. Type DAL if you think it's the Dallas Cowboys. My answer coming up here in just a moment. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to go, the winner of this trade, I think it's actually both sides. The reason why, first off, I think that the Packers ended up winning this deal is because they go out and they get a premier edge rusher in a division with the Lions, one of the best teams in the NFL. Bears did a lot with their offensive line. They have Caleb Williams. And then, on the other side of it with Minnesota, that's a team that won 14 games. They got their young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, and they need to be able to go out and get more pressure on the quarterback. Win now mode, Green Bay wins right now. The other reason, though, why I think it's actually a good deal for the Cowboys is Kenny Clark is 28, 29, 30 years old. I think he's like 29 years old, and he's a really flippin' good defensive tackle. And one of the biggest needs that Dallas had this offseason was defensive tackle. Yes, 29 years old. For the Cowboys, they get a first-round pick in 2026, and they get a first-round pick in 2027. We'll see what exactly that ends up looking like, but there's always a part of me that wonders. There's a man by the name of Arch Manning who plays for Texas football. I know Jerry Jones cares about money, and I know they got Dak Prescott there. But if Dak's not out there winning football games with the offense that this team has with CeeDee Lamb and somebody along the lines of George Pickens, I do wonder if the conversation starts to be had if, hey, could we start using some of these extra first-round picks to go up and try to get a guy like Arch? And, really cool note, the Packers and the Cowboys play Week 4 on Sunday Night Football in Dallas. That's going to be absolute box office hell. I might be going live on the Raiders Report for that game. And if you want to tune into any of my Raiders Report watch parties, make sure you're subscribed. Anytime Raiders breaking news happens, I'm going to do my best to keep you up to date. Typically, when the Raiders make a move, it's how I start the show. And I hope that you're not mad that I started the show off with a Micah Parsons trade. But man, oh man, we're trying to get to 200,000 subs by week 1. I want to keep on growing this family. Help grow the family by hitting that sub button. All right, let's now move here to the Raiders portion of the show. The silver and black did end up making a waiver claim today. There was a player, he was released by the Philadelphia Eagles. His name is Tristan McCullum. What's funny is how the world works at times. The Philadelphia Eagles released him yesterday. Marcus Epps, late last night, ended up signing with the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit of a reunion for Epps. He ended up, he was there, a part of that team. He was a team captain. I believe it was when they lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs the first time. But that was somebody that was very well liked and respected. The Eagles then ended up waiving McCollum. He went unclaimed. The Raiders ended up claiming him. So now he's a part of this roster. The fact that the Raiders went out and claimed McCollum, that means they're going to have to make a roster move. Now, if you don't know who Tristan McCollum is, outside of the fact that he spells his name with two I's, which I think is a little bit strange, he played in 251 snaps last season, an overall PFF grade of 46.3, run defense grade of 64.8, the coverage grade of 43.4. He's a big safety. He's going to offer you at least some versatility. And again, it's nothing to be super excited about, I'll be honest with you. UDFA in 2022, played on the Texans practice squad, spent the past few seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. But as soon as this move happened, the first thing that I thought of in the show that I talked about yesterday was the Raiders are going to end up making two moves. Two moves that I knew the Raiders were going to do. It had to involve Aidan O'Connell, and I thought the other one was going to involve Thomas Harper going to the short-term IR. So right from the jump, I do wonder if the claim here for the Raiders bringing in McCollum with 54 players on this roster now means is Thomas Harper heading the IR. And I think it's just going to be something that you got to keep an eye out for. It's going to be something you're going to have to look out for overall because we do right now have too many players on this team as it stands. But Harper offered you a lot of versatility from a nickel and free safety standpoint. Based on what I have heard from our Eagles people here at Chat Sports, McCollum is going to be more of just a safety. Not going to be somebody that's going to come up playing the nickel, really just somebody that's going to try to stay back in the back end of your defense and hold it down there. Though he is a big free safety at 6'3". But ultimately, I think that this means Thomas Harper is going to get moved to IR. Coming up next here on the show, I got some Hunter Renfrow rumors for the nation, and I know some of you are probably going to love this. I think some other people are going to roll their eyes a little bit, but it has been reported that multiple teams are interested in Hunter Renfrow after he was waived or released by the Carolina Panthers. I'll get into all that in just a moment. Football season's so flipping back, though. I literally have chills. Chugs and I were getting ready to film a video. We were literally filming the Tristan McCollum waiver claim, and I looked at him and I go, Micah Parsons was just traded. And football's back, which means PrizePicks is also back because football season is here. And I don't want you to miss any of the action this season. PrizePicks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. PrizePicks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. PrizePicks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Here's one of the lineups that I'm rolling with, and speaking of Micah, his old teammate up there, Dak Prescott. Give me the more there, but you can look at that lineup. That's 20 to win 320. And if you want to roll with that lineup and roll with me the entire season, download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. I should mention, if you're looking to get that link, it's down in the comments. It's down in the description of today's show. Let's go to the next part here, and it's going to be around Hunter Renfrow. And I think Renfrow is a good story. I'm happy that he's back in the NFL. And according to Tom Pelissero, Hunter Renfrow has interest from several teams and is weighing his options after his surprise release from the Panthers. Carolina wants to bring him back, but Renfrow has opportunities elsewhere and is mulling his next decision. So he didn't end up making the 53. Carolina wants to be able to bring him back. And for Renfrow, if there's other opportunities out there, he's going to listen. And if you remember earlier this offseason, the Raiders were one of the teams that brought him in on a visit. He also went out and visited multiple other NFL teams, and I did think that Carolina was going to be the organization that had the best chance overall of making it happen. And I should just mention, we just got some Raiders news here. And if you could go back to the Tristan McCullum, I'll get back here to Hunter Renfrow in just a moment because we did just get some Raiders news. And this is why you should subscribe to the Raiders Report. The Raiders literally just released a statement. Tristan McCullum has been claimed by the Silver and Black. The Raiders have waived Thomas Harper. So they are not going to put Harper on short-term IR. They are flat out waiving Thomas Harper. It literally just happened. And again, right, like that's just sometimes the shit that happens on this show. So now the Raiders are at 53 players on their roster. And I know that some people are going to probably watch the video in the beginning and be a little bit confused. I'm sorry from the jump. But Harper has just been waived. So that's the Raiders news. That's why you subscribe. Now let's get back to Hunter Renfrow, and in regards to, is he going to be coming to the Las Vegas Raiders? No, this one's tuck rule, tuck that. It's fake news, whatever you want to call it. I know that multiple teams are interested, but to me, Renfrow doesn't fit with what this Raiders team is trying to do right now. I don't think that he brings the physicality. I don't think that he brings the blocking ability, and because the Raiders already went out and they signed Amari Cooper, who this team is much more excited about than I originally planned. I actually heard from a source today that they think that he could be the wide receiver 3 over Dante Thornton and over Jack Besh. So going to be something to keep an eye out for. But for Renfrow, if you're going to bring in a receiver like him, he's got to offer you something in special teams. Because Amari Cooper offers you nothing in special teams, and because Renfrow offers you nothing in special teams, I do not think that the deal ends up getting done. But again, man, anytime NFL news happens, I'm going to try to keep you guys up to date. Anytime Raiders news happens, I'm going to try to keep you up to date. The Raiders news is we have claimed Tristan McCullum from the Philadelphia Eagles, and we are waiving Thomas Harper. The other big NFL news is Micah Parsons just got traded to the Green Bay Packers. And again, if you could go troll my guy Tom, please do so. If you do not know, I am going to be live tomorrow on the Raiders Report, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. We're giving away our 2 final spots in our Fantasy Football League. So if you want a chance to join, pull up tomorrow. It's going to be a fun day.